Hello and welcome to episode number 6. So in this video I thought that we will keep working on blueprints and we'll start using variables. So if you don't remember what a variable is, it's pretty much something that stores a value, okay? So I want to make another actor, so we'll go into blueprint class, actor, and this will be a, let's call it a box, okay? And I want to add for one of the components, let's see if we have something like a cube. Yep, we have a cube. Let's make it a bit smaller though. So maybe 0.5. And let's also add a box collision. And okay, we need to add the box collision to the default scene root, because if it's way too small then. So that seems still a bit too big, maybe it's 2.5. There we go. So for the cube, we're going to make a material. You can choose whatever you want. I have all, if you might not have these materials if you didn't add the starter content. You don't need a material, it's just so we can see it better, so just choose whatever. I'm going to choose the brick clay old, and it's not appearing still. Maybe if we compile, well, let's just wait for the shaders to apply. So if you remember in the last video over here, we used the event onComponentBegin overlap from this box, okay? So we're going to do something similar. However, yeah, we're going to do that right there. So remember, we need to select the box, and let's create an add event for box collision on begin overlap. So the first thing, before we start working with variables, I want to show you a new node, which is called destroy actor, and you probably guess what it is. So we also have destroy component. Actually, I'll first show you what destroy component is. So let's drag the cube and let's just compile, and let's just place this over here. So pretty much when I step on it, it will disappear. So what the destroy component did, it destroyed the cube, but it did not destroy the actor. So normally you would want to destroy the actor for just optimization reasons. So destroy actor, and instead of adding cube over here, we will just delete this because it will destroy itself. So here we have self. You can of course destroy other actors from different blueprints, but you will need to get a reference to that actor. We'll get into that in a future video. So let's just play it again and see if it destroys. And there you go, it destroyed itself. So now we are going to go into blueprints, third person character. And this is all, just don't pay attention to this. This is just what makes the movement work. What we want to do now is add an event tick, and we are going to add a print string, okay? And what the print string does is, well, it's going to show text on the screen on one of these corners over here. And it's going to show every single frame because we have it on the tick. So let's just see how it works. So it's going to print hello. So you see there's a bunch of hellos appearing. To fix that, you might think that we could just add this to the event begin play, but it would not update every frame. But we of course don't want that big column of hellos. We want something different. So by plugging the delta seconds into the duration of the print string, delta seconds pretty much is how much time the time between each frames. So if we So if we connect this to the duration, it's pretty much going to kill itself the next frame, so we will only have one hello, just like that. It might be a bit complicated to understand, but that's not the point of this video. The point is learning how to use variables. So what we want to do now is create a new variable, and this will be, let's call it picked up boxes. So normally you would want to name your variables like after each word. You don't want the space, you just want to have it nice and compact, and the first letter of each word has to be uppercase, except the first word you type in. This is how I do it. There are other ways, but I think that this is like the nicest way. So we're going to do an integer, and if you remember, an integer stores a variable with a number without decimals. Okay, so if we compile and we select on this, we can select the default value, and right now the default value will be 0. So let's just get pickup boxes over here, and let's drag this into the end string. So if we compile and we play, we should see a 0. Okay, so what I'm going to work on now is kind of like do a counter, and for each time we destroy one of these boxes. So next time we execute the game, a 1 will appear instead of a 0. So to do this, we need to make some connections between blueprints. We'll get into this in more detail in a future video, but it's pretty simple to understand. So before the destroy actor, we want to do a cast, and I'll explain what it is in a minute, to the third person character. Okay, and if you remember, the third person character is where we made the picked up boxes variable. So by creating a cast, we're going to be able to access that variable from this blueprint. This is something super useful. You might not understand how useful it is right now, but once you start making your own games, it'll be amazing. Sorry about that, that was my phone. However, for the cast to work, we need to set an object. So for the object, we want to get player pawn. So let's compile. And if you see a yellow warning over here, the reason for that is you didn't apply the correct object. Okay, don't worry about that for now. As I said, this is not the point of this video. The point of this video is for you to understand how to work with variables. So I'm going to get that variable I made in the third person character, which is picked up boxes. So let's type in get picked up boxes, and that should appear. So what we want to do now is also we need to get set picked up boxes. Okay, so the difference between a get and a set, a get is for literally getting the value of the variable, and we're getting that out of the output, and the set is setting the value to the variable. Okay, so let's connect that over here to make sure it works, and let's connect this to picked up box. No, actually we didn't do anything. We need to add one, so just press plus and want integer plus integer, and for now we want 1. So let's connect that to picked up boxes, and let's compile. So pretty much once, let's actually add a few more. So let's go into content, and let's add a few boxes over here. So let's press play, and each time we step on one of those, it will add 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you get the idea. It's pretty simple. So I'll re-explain it again just to make sure you understand it. So first of all, what we did is add a variable which is picked up boxes, which stores how many boxes we picked up, and we add it to the print string, which will print that value every frame. In the box actor, we added a cube and a box collision, so every time we step on this collision, this event will get triggered. So we did a cast to the third person character so we can get the variable we made, which is picked up boxes, and we're adding 1 to the current variable, which is picked up boxes. So it starts at 0, so when we pick up 1, it's 0 plus 1, so we have 1 picked up box. But after that, let's say we've already picked up 3 boxes, it's going to get out of here the value 3, it's going to add 1, it's going to set it to 4. Okay, so you might be thinking, now what if I want to add a different value instead of just adding 1? So let's say we want a decimal value, so let's do a float variable and let's call this value. So let's change the type to float, and let's compile so we can set a value, and let's do 1.5. So what we want to do is to get value and just plug that in to, actually no, we need to delete this because this is getting an integer, so it's pretty much going to round that number 1. So let's add 1, so we want vector plus integer, no, I don't want that, int plus, okay, let's just do float plus float. Let's add this in here and this here. So this is pretty much transforming the integer to a float. So it pretty much works how it should. And actually, the picked up boxes should have been a float, but it doesn't matter. So let's just make the value 2, I guess. So it works well. Let's compile and let's press play. So every time we pick up a box, it should add 2. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So that's all for this video. If you liked it, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, make sure to comment them down below so I can help you. Thanks for watching, and to the next one. Bye.